Hello and welcome to the Abundology podcast. My name is Renee Spears and I'm a spirit guide channeler and spiritual life and business mentor. And I help people be happy and attract more money, love, time, and joy in their lives. I'm coming to you from a very chilly and beautiful Bozeman, Montana. And this is the weekly energy update for the week of December 4th, 2022. Every Sunday, I talk about how the energy is going to be for the week ahead, and I also infuse the show with some positive vibes, so you get a little positive energy boost just for listening. And we have made it to the last full moon of 2022. So on Wednesday the 7th at 11:08 p.m. Eastern and 8:08 Pacific, there's a full moon in Gemini. Now, this is the cold moon for obvious reasons. And full moons are about endings and are the perfect time for reflecting. And since this full moon is the last one of the year, we're reflecting back on the year. So instead of jumping into the next new thing, this is the time to reflect on what you've done, where you've been, and how you've spent this year. How are you different now than you were at the start of 2022? This would be a wonderful full moon for a ritual to honor the year. And often we think of full moon rituals, we think of dancing naked under the full moon. I mean, feel free to do that, but it's way too cold to do that here. Or maybe writing down things you want to release and burning them, wonderful things. But there are other things you can do to honor the full moon too. So the full moon marks a buildup of energy, both light and dark. This makes it the perfect time to cleanse your space, to remove some of that energy, your body, and your mind. So remove or let go of any of that built-up energy you no longer feel like holding on to. So clean your home. That could be your ritual, just to clean and smudge your home. Cleanse your body with a fast or eating very healthy food this week. And cleanse your mind by taking time to relax and unwind for a minute. And save your energy for the next new moon and the solstice, which will be here before you know it. Full moons are also about recharging. This is the perfect time to recharge your crystals by simply putting them out under the light of the full moon. Full moons are also about evaluating your life. The full moon is shining a bright light on the spaces within us that we couldn't possibly see without illumination. So under a full moon, we often experience some of our most profound catalysts for healing, for self-reflection and truth. And these are seen and felt through the lens and the theme of the sign in which the moon is in. This time it's in Gemini, and also the nearby planets. So while the moon oversees our emotional body, Gemini represents our mental body. Gemini influences thought, logic, communication, our beliefs. So our beliefs and our thoughts are up for review and release right now. And this full moon will act as a release of the past 12 months. Yeah, it may be a little intense and it may bring our wounds to the surface and put our challenges front and center, but all that is so that we can clarify who we are, who we want to be, and what we will and will not allow into our lives. So Gemini is represented by the twins, where one twin is mortal, the other immortal. The twins represent both sides of our being. We are both human and soul. The unity of our human selves and our spiritual selves is what this Gemini full moon calls us to balance. We may find ourselves needing to honor and be patient with our human side, like we're only human. It's okay that we have feelings, that we make mistakes, and that we don't always know the way. That's okay. Just the same, we're also going to have to honor and respect our spiritual side. Our spirit side knows there are no wrong turns, there's no regrets, and there's no mistakes. Our spiritual side knows that everything is a learning journey and that love is all there really is. So both our human and our spiritual sides don't always work in tandem. Our human selves need necessities like food and shelter. Our soul selves need to follow what brings joy. Our human selves want stability and healing. Our soul selves know that all this is temporary and that we are already healed. So finding balance between these two can sometimes be tricky. But this full moon is our opportunity to feel a deep sense of balance that maybe we haven't felt all year or for a number of years. So we've all heard that we chose this, that you chose this experience, you chose these bad things happening to you. And I want to talk about this for a second because there's a lot of shame and blame with this if you don't understand it. There's absolutely no way our human selves would choose to experience cancer or a car accident or a loved one dying. And hearing that you chose this makes people feel like they've done something wrong. But our soul selves do choose to experience these things. There's so much soul growth that happens during tragedies. Often there's a lot more change and self-awareness and growth when so-called bad things happen than good things. So if you can step away from the shame and blame of thinking that the human you chose this and look at the experience from a soul level, it can be very healing. A big part of my job with passing on messages from your spirit guides is so that you can see the bigger picture and understand your soul journey a little more. I think we understand our human journey maybe too much and put too much importance on that, where the soul journey and understanding that can make you feel so much better. So as I mentioned before, there's some heated and charged energy around this full moon. Mostly thanks to the presence of Mars, which is conjunct the moon and is also currently retrograde. Being retrograde amplifies its energy. So Mars is a planet of motivation and action and energy. So while in retrograde, we question our motivations and our actions, and we reconsider what we're choosing to spend our energy on. Our energy is a precious resource. So this full moon is highlighting what is worth spending our energy on and what needs to be released. So if you're wasting your energy on certain relationships, behaviors, and beliefs, this full moon is a good time to state them out loud and let those bitches go. Mars' presence may also have us feeling charged up about something, like we are amped up, and it may be hard to keep our emotions in balance. But sometimes it is perfectly acceptable to be angry and assertive. Sometimes we just need to get things out and off of our chest. And this is okay. This is what makes us human. We don't have to be love and light all the time. In fact, it's more natural for us to embrace how we truly feel, even if we think it might be coming from a place of ego. Sometimes we have to give ourselves permission to just be fucking human. So many of us feel shame around feeling angry and expressing our anger. No one wants to feel angry. No one wants to be on the receiving end of it either. And while anger can be toxic at times, it is also a healthy and valid human emotion. Sometimes our anger just needs an escape for us to be free of it. And then we can move on, we can regroup, and we can understand where to go next. So Neptune is another planet that is active during this full moon. And Neptune is the planet of intuition. So we may find ourselves receiving confirmation for something we've had an intuitive inkling about for some time. So trust your instincts and your intuition under this full moon. And if you need them, the universe will send signs of confirmation your way. You remember, you can always ask for clear signs. I sometimes say, hey guides, send me a sign about this situation that is so clear that I can't miss it. Now there's a lot of energy during this full moon. So a wonderful way to honor and celebrate it is to simply sit your ass down, relax, cleanse your space and your body and your mind, and kick back. Sometimes we need stillness to fully observe what's happening around us, to notice how we feel, and to discover the opportunities that have been lurking right under our noses. So remember, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So revel in it just for a minute. And that's it for the week. I am now taking reservations for my 2023 Montana spiritual retreats. So when we're going through a big transition or we're leveling up our lives like we've done this year, our bodies and our souls often need an energetic reset. So energy is contagious and it naturally attunes to the vibration around us. So when different vibrating things come together, they sync up and they start to vibrate together, taking on the higher frequency. So one of the easiest ways to reset and rebalance your energy is to be around a high vibrating person and to learn how to be this new version of yourself. And that's what happens naturally during my spiritual retreats while we're soaking in hot springs, going to Yellowstone, having massages, hiking, and eating delicious food. So I'm only hosting 6 spiritual retreats in 2023, and one of them is already booked. So if you book your retreat in December, you'll save 10%, and the retreats will not go on sale again, ever. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Maybe next December. So last year they sold out. So if you want more info, I'll put a link in the show notes, or you can just go to my website, Abundology.com. And as usual, thank you for listening and sharing this podcast with a friend you think may find value in it. Have a wonderful full moon in Gemini, and I will talk to you again next week.